All right, we're recording. There we go. Cough.
Professional.
Yes. All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of What Say You. I'm Brian Quinn.
I'm Sal Volcano, and this one may be 50.
This one may be 50.
I'm pretty sure this is 50.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure it is.
We're very close to each other right now. This is weird. Okay. We're recording on a Zoom 6, like a HQ. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Zoom sent it to us. It's awesome. I'll get the technical information to you guys. So if it sounds a little different, although we did a test and it sounded pretty good.
Yeah, and if so, it's amazing because the piece is like the size of like a Matchbox car.
Yeah, it's on my iPad. You click it into the lightning port, and the test sounded amazing.
Yeah, we normally have these big Shure
mics and another Zoom H6 recorder, but I think this is a Q something.
Yeah, my only fear is that like halfway through recording, we don't realize something happened.
Yeah, we got an eye on it. I just freed up 13 gigs on my iPad.
Okay.
And normally our
gigs
episodes.
Do you have on your iPad?
I got the 68.
Oh, excuse me.
And it's all filled with comic books.
Excuse all of us.
I just deleted 13 gigs of comic books.
I think you mean 64, but yes.
I mean,
I'm just so people out there aren't rushing to the mart now to buy 68 gig. Well, how many people they came out with a 68?
Well, there's 128 gig now. So anybody who's getting out to rush to a mart,
there's people that 68 might have been the sweet spot, and they're running to a mart right now. And then when they're going to get there, John from Electronics Hut is going to be like, right. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we're going to get tons and tons of mail.
Well, I mean, anybody at home who relies on us for accurate information really has bigger problems at hand than a 4 gig swing.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to hear about your 4 gigs, by the way. If you actually went to the mart and talked to John at Electronics Hut, came back, wasted gas and time and money, and you mad at us for it, go fuck yourself because
just go fuck
it has nothing to do with us. Now,
yeah.
Too Fast.
Too Furious.
It's the number 2, which is a nice little funny little nod, meaning it's a sequel. Mm-hmm. But what this is telling us is this is going to be a tornado a minute romp. This is going to be like it's we can't handle it. TOO, it's too fast for you.
Right.
It's too furious.
Right.
No one should be able to handle this movie. Is this the viewer, you think, or you think that the characters, the movie got a little too fast and too furious for the characters?
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's by watching it. But I will say this.
Yeah.
I have not seen this movie yet, and the reason I've avoided it is because if you remember when it first came out, back in 1984, when
That's not right.
When Too Fast, Too Furious was released in 1984, hundreds of thousands of people died in the theaters because they couldn't handle it.
That's correct.
So
yes, it was more like 2004.
What? Well,
2006, something like that. 84 was probably a little off. Even for the joke. I'll tell you who was
editing comedy now.
I'll tell you who was Too Fast and Too Furious for. Right. Dominic Toretto.
Yeah.
DT doesn't come back in this one. He doesn't reprise his role here, Vin Diesel.
No, we're looking at Paul Walker,
Tyrese,
and the beautiful and lovely. We've talked about her before, Eva Mendes.
But she wasn't in the first one, right?
No.
Oh, so this is just a bonus for us.
Maybe
she's married to Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
So Tyrese now in this one, and I know that. Does Tyrese follow us on? Is he the one that was following everybody?
No. That was
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs. Yeah.
Tay.
Where's he at?
Tyrese. He was originally like an R&B singer, right?
Okay.
Oh, he is still.
Oh, is he the one that fell in love with God and that became his big thing?
No, I think you're thinking of Mace.
Mace? Let me look. Hold on. Keep going.
Maybe Nelly.
No, somebody made that movie In Love with a Church Girl.
No, I don't know who you're. How are you going to find this out?
I'm going to type In Love with a Church Girl.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I also see, after Eva Mendes, I see Ludacris, who we know is replacing Ja Rule.
Right.
So, and then there's a fifth person on the cover.
Oh, it was, did you say Ja Rule?
Yeah.
Jeff Ja Rule Atkins and Adrian Bailon starred in I'm in Love with a Church Girl.
We probably discussed this on the last one.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did.
No, so he's out. So Tyrese is in, Ludacris is in, Eva Mendes is in, Paul Walker reprises his role, and then there's a young Asian woman here. I don't know. Do you recognize her?
Yeah, she was in a Sin City. I don't remember her name. She was in Sin City. She was Miko in Sim City.
Okay.
Not Sim City, Sin City.
Sin City. Sim City is the video game.
Yeah, although,
but she might have been Miko in Sim City too, because you have that kind of player.
You're God.
Ability.
You're basically God. Yeah. Right. All right.
Here's what the studio tells us here.
Okay.
The adrenaline-fueled thrill ride that began with the Fast and the Furious takes an explosive new turn. In Too Fast, Too Furious, it takes an explosive new turn. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Now an ex-cop on the run, Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker,
of course,
hooks into outlaw street racing. When the feds strong-arm him back, O'Connor's no rules, win or die skills are unleashed against an international drug lord, with his velocity-addicted buddy Tyrese riding shotgun and a drop-dead gorgeous undercover agent, Eva Mendes, dialing up the heat.
Yeah.
Too Fast, Too Furious accelerates the action into a desperate race for survival, justice, and jaw-dropping speed.
Brilliant.
There are a lot of adjectives.
Okay, it came out June 6th, 2003. I was off. I'm the first to admit when I'm off.
Yeah, 19. You were only off by 19 years.
But in the course of cinema, 19 years isn't that much.
What was 84? Jaws?
Like Back to the Future came out.
Karate Kid
in 85. Ghostbusters. All right. So
I'm just telling you that the write-up on the back of this box sounds like we're about to watch the best movie ever made with no close second.
Right.
And I hope that's the case.
I hope it's the case too. The budget for this film was $76 million. The box office, $236 million.
Which is why we're going into Fast 7.
That's right. That's right.
270, and then 2 something, you said? So almost 4 times. It made almost 4 times its budget.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty good. So, and we're going to get started. We're going to watch this now.
And that's without Vin Diesel.
That's without Vin Diesel.
I think people really just bought into like fast cars.
Yeah, there was like a moment in time.
Because like no slight to anyone outside of Paul Walker, who I think the first one kind of really made him.
Yeah.
I don't really think people are like, I need to run to go see, because the rest is a supporting cast. So I think people really bought into the franchise. You know what I mean?
So where did the first movie end up? Paul Walker let Vin Diesel go.
And I think that's where we left off. He was on the road. We didn't know what was his fate.
Well, we did actually. You and I made a classic error. We forgot to watch through the credits. There was an after credits.
Stop it.
On Twitter, on at What Say You Pod, a lot of different people were like, you guys didn't sit through the credits. You see Dominic driving into Mexico at high speed. We missed that.
But we don't know what happened with Brian.
We don't know what happened to him, but we know that Dominic
fled to Mexico.
Is in Mexico in this movie.
At high speed.
I
mean, wouldn't he have to slow down for the border?
I guess it depends on what's going on.
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe someone's calling us for the first time on What Say You Pod.
Okay. What's happening? Sal rocking the T-Mobile jingle for his phone.
It's my mom.
Okay.
Let me not tell her if she's on, all right? Okay. Let's see how my life is. Hello.
Hi, you busy?
Well, I was going to do a podcast right about now.
Okay. I just want you to listen to something cute. It's a ringtone.
Okay.
Hold on, all right?
All right.
All right. Wait, where did it go? Madison, where did it go? Okay, here you go.
Yeah, Mom. You know what that is?
That's Afro Man.
Chipmunk, I got high.
Yeah.
The girls are dancing to it.
you and the girls are dancing to it. That's a song by a guy named Afro Man. But they made it into like a chipmunk voice, but They're talking about high, man. Like they got high with drunk.
Oh, I know. It sounds funny, don't it?
Yes, the chipmunk voice does sound funny when applied to regular voice. Yes.
Do you like it?
I do like it, actually. I very much like it.
Look it up. So put it on your phone. It's called Chipmunk I Got High.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
I love it.
I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, love you. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, hon. Bye.
I love your mom.
There you go.
I love your
There
mom.
you go. These are the calls I feel. She had no clue. Did I just violate her trust?
Nah, she'd have to sue. That's Afro Man. Because I got.
Did you see him in the news this week?
Yeah, didn't
He punched a woman in the
he
face.
like cracked a woman?
Who got on stage with him? He was like doing a guitar solo, and he saw her. And like they smiled at each other.
He's in trouble.
I don't know if he's in trouble. Because
Well, you shouldn't hit a woman no matter what.
That's correct.
Right.
But I think that she got on stage. She was probably drinking, and then she started dancing up on him. But he wasn't even looking at it. She got on stage. It's one of those knockout punches too.
Really?
You gotta pull it up, dude. It's so awkward and weird, right?
Can you? It's online.
Oh, it's online.
Oh, let's just
He's
say
doing a
that.
guitar solo. She gets on the stage. He looks at her. They both smile. He doesn't know what she's doing. She walks behind him. He's like, ah, fuck it. He continues the guitar solo. Then she decides to go like this and start dancing behind him. And like she dances up
She's
on
like
him.
grinding on him?
And he doesn't know she's doing it. So he feels a bump. And he turns around and gives her a right hook that knocks her out.
Oh my god. Okay. So during Mardi Gras, no less. Oh man. Our friends Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, who are of course the iconic and beloved Jay and Silent Bob,
Yes.
are in the video for Because I Got High.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
I think it was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and they were in that. All right, here he goes. I'm watching Afro Man play. Right? Oh shit! Whoa!
I told you, dude.
Dude!
I know.
What was he thinking?
I
You
don't
can't do that!
I know.
Whoa! Did he have an excuse? Did he say?
He said that he's on edge and he's checking into an anxiety clinic to that day.
Whoa! Holy shit!
He lays her out. Now, it's you shouldn't hit a woman, but she went on stage and he said security should have taken her off. No one did. I didn't, exactly realize
Right.
what was happening. He lays her out.
He lays her out.
But nothing to be said at all for a man hitting a woman. I guess that's why, right?
Look, you can't hit a woman.
Yeah.
You just can't. That's not even like. That's not. I don't even think that's like a society thing. It's just a basic right thing.
Yeah.
And Andrew Dice Clay had that great thing where he says like, "Look, I understand wanting to hit a woman, but you can't hit a woman."
Well, that's Chris Rock.
Right. Is that Chris Rock?
Well, no, that I don't know. But Chris Rock says, "I'd never hit a woman, but I'll shake the shit out of her."
Oh, all right. But look, we've had people get up. It's just happened in Red Bank. A woman got up on stage. Remember, we were doing that show?
Yes.
And a woman came up on stage, and I looked over, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "They dared me." And I was like, "I dare you to get the fuck back in your seat." And then Joe said, "Get the fuck back in your seat." And I go, "Sit the fuck down." And then we walked off stage to show a video, and you went, "I think you were a little hard on it."
I said that to the crowd.
No, but you said it when we got in the back too. You were like, "I think you were a little hard on it."
I was in the middle of saying thank you.
Right.
That's when she did it, and then you guys. It was the end of like a long night, and it was like 2 shows, and she just walked down the aisle on the stage, up the steps on the stage, and you were like, "What are you doing?" and I stopped. I was like in the middle of like a heartfelt thank you, and then she was like, "Oh, my friend dared me," and you're like, "Yeah, sit the fuck down." She was like, "Get the fuck off the stage, fuck you," and everyone starts like laughing. And then I was like, I said, I said, I think, because usually we deal with people like that in a humorous way, but it was like void of humor.
I was pretty annoyed.
So I go, look, you're celebrating the show and the spirit of the show. We understand you got dared and stuff, but you have to understand, we're in the middle of a show here. And I said,
but why do you have to explain to a fucking dimbulb that you're not supposed to get up on stage during the middle of a performance?
People think that they're, in the spirit of our show, they're celebrating things that you're not supposed to do.
But what have we done on Impractical Jokers that you're not supposed to do?
Oh, a lot.
Tell me.
There's social...
One thing!
Social faux pas all the time. Eat someone's food.
Yeah, but is that a... Yeah, I guess you're right. Your first example brings me crashing down.
But I said, I softened the blow. I said, I understand what you're doing, and it's in the spirit of the show, and we appreciate it.
Right.
But you do understand, we're in the middle of a show. I was giving a little, I was sitting there talking. I said, but thank you. I said, but now, but also go fuck yourself. And I gave a little zing.
Right. All right. Well,
anyway.
Look, neither here nor there. We're going to now we're in Pittsburgh, we should say. We have shows tonight here in Pittsburgh. A show tonight or two shows tonight?
One show tonight, but I'm in a place that I love.
Yeah, you do love Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh sports. I love the Steelers. I like the town for sports.
The town. I like that church brewery.
The town is beautiful. You come through the mountain and it just opens up, and I'm excited to be back.
Yes. The river is frozen over. It's a frozen cold shithole.
Oh, it's a tundra here.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
So we are going to hole up and watch Too Fast, Too Furious, and we will be back afterwards with our notes like we did last time.
Yeah, possibly during if we're too baffled.
If something happens in the middle of it, we'll hit record and we'll go. But thanks for joining us again. We appreciate it, and we'll be back soon.
At the 30-minute mark, we're going to stop.
Right.
So come back and listen at the 30-minute mark just for a brief catch-up.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Someone's knocking at the door in the middle of the movie.
We're in a hotel room in Pittsburgh watching this. I hope it's because of the noise. That would be secret. Yeah. Too Fast, Too Furious. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Quinn.
Hi.
You want turn down service?
Oh, no.
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? No, we're okay. No, you want a water, buddy?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a water. We thought you guys were going to complain. You got another one? We thought you were going to complain about the movie.
How much is this?
Oh, no. Just free.
Yeah?
it is?
Okay.
No, nothing's free. Stop it. Nothing's free.
It is free.
We're watching Fast and the Furious 2. Have you guys ever seen it before?
I think so.
Too Fast, Too Furious?
Right,
What'd you guys think?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
First one.
Tyrese was in that
Yeah,
one.
Tyrese, yeah.
Tyrese,
Paul
right?
Walker.
Yeah. You saw it?
Yeah.
What's your one-line review of the movie?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Okay. It came out in 1984, right?
No, 2003.
1984.
2003.
I wasn't
2003.
even born.
Oh, okay. I keep getting confused. All right.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for the water. Thanks for the water, ladies. Love it.
Dude, I ate the blueberries and the strawberry too. We sound so. They left a plate of fruit. We ate the same fruit. There's still a banana, a pear, and an apple left.
All right. So here we are, 30 minutes into the movie. And what are your thoughts so far, Sal?
It's a bit of what we expected.
It's what we hoped for, really.
It's got fast cars and fast flashy cars and people.
Right.
It's got a lot of the sass the first one had.
A lot of scantily clad people.
Scantily
of
clad
both
women.
sexes.
Yeah,
So if
both
you like
sexes.
men, and there's muscular men running around. If you like me, and you like a woman in a hot, tight shorts.
Hot pants, pleather pants.
They have that for you, too.
They have that for you. It opens
Yeah.
with action. It opens with a big street race.
Well, the first thing you see in the movie is a pickup truck screeches to the halt of a street, and they put out road closed sign. Thus,
It immediately begins on the hijinks.
that's it. No need for questioning where are the people, where are the citizens of Florida, where are all the traffic. They've covered their bases already with a couple
Right.
of.
Well,
road
they're
crossings.
opening the movie with exactly what they promised to deliver to you, which is fast cars, right? So
Right.
so you know right away that when you see a road closed sign go up, it's about to go
Sure.
down. Now the difference,
You realize this is where Justin Bieber learned all this shit when he rented
right?
that Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
He was
okay.
probably like 10 when this came out.
Yeah.
So he was 10. Actually, he was.
Was he?
8 when this movie came out.
Okay.
He's 20 now, right? Or 21?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was like So wait, so the thing here is
Right.
we
I've
get
got 3 notes. I got 3 pages of
okay.
notes.
So we start and again it's at night.
Right.
And a collective of 500 plus people have all communicated to each other. The street dragging network have all communicated to each other. They have amassed on a closed road. One sign went up.
All of them racial caricatures.
Yes.
All of them. There's not a single person defined by anything besides their accent and the way they dress.
That's right. There's a Hispanic man.
And he says, hey, essay, and shit like that.
Overly Hispanic. Right. There's the black dude.
He's got a pick in his hair.
Yeah.
Both black guys in the movie so far have picks in their hairs.
Yes. This one's a double insult. There's the Asian girl who's talking like Hello Kitty. Her car is hot pink. And she has only female friends. It's like an insult to women and Asians. Like she's just a stereotype. She's just like she's the girl group. It's almost like a modern day like Grease. Like the girls, like the girls and the
pink
guys.
Ladies,
the pink ladies. Her car is hot pink. All her friends are hanging out in hot pink outfits.
Right.
And they only are there with females.
And I don't know if you noticed this, Sal, but the inside of her car had an iPad or something, and on the screen was an anime Japanese girl.
Anime, yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
And she's saying shit like, just smack that ass.
Smack that ass. Well, at one point, Ludacris?
Yeah.
Ludacris,
he's like the new Vin Diesel.
He's the new, nobody, come on.
No, but he's the guy that comes out, tells 500 people, all right, you know why you're here, the roads are closed, we're going to start in 5 minutes, you draw the finish line in paint, you rev up your engines, I want $3,500 a head.
Right.
They all have it in cash, they hand it over.
Yes.
He tells them when to start, when to stop, when to go home.
Right.
He has up his sleeve that he's going to open up the drawbridge. He doesn't tell the drivers, one of them being Paul Walker, who is his friend, that he's going to risk his life for $3,000.
Right. Can we, before we get to the bridge, can we talk about Paul Walker for a second?
Yes.
Okay. When last we saw him, he let Dom go.
Yes.
And he's on the run.
Yes.
And he ended up in Florida, and apparently he's living in a trailer on a beach.
Yes.
With a car.
Yes.
What's his name?
Ludacris.
Ludacris calls him up, says, hey, I got a race for you tonight. I don't know why he didn't call him to begin with, but he says, I got a race for you tonight. Right. Can you be here in 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Paul Walker, of course.
It was in the middle of his sleep. He's like, let's do it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Jumps in the car. Sure enough, he makes it there in 4 minutes.
Yes.
One of the Puerto Rican guys throws an insult his way. I'm not racing with Whitey or what have you.
Right.
And Paul Walker says, well, then you can ask all these people to get out of your way and back up the fuck out of here then.
Right.
And the crowd, as they are wont to do.
They're really another character as a whole in the movie. Yes. I love the crowd. Yes. To every little diss, every little jibe, they're all like, oh! Also, all 500 of them do it.
Right.
And everyone's talking at like room level, like they're just like if they're like huddled up having a conversation, the insult that's at like this level reaches the 500th person in the back. They're all like, no, he didn't.
Right. And I will say this, the running time of this movie is 100 and something minutes.
Yes.
They devoted a full 40 seconds to displaying the types of cars, radios, the type of radio systems that are in cars. Like they were like, that's a good use of our running time.
Right.
Here's some car radios for you to look at.
Right.
Brilliant.
Now here's
brilliant.
Yes, here's what I'm saying. Brian, aka Paul Walker, is on the run from the FBI, federal agents.
Right.
He's a double-crossing cop who's caused damage, destruction, property loss, money loss, and lives to the department and otherwise. Right. He's effectively a full-on criminal.
Yes.
He is quote-unquote on the run. He doesn't leave the country.
Right.
He just goes to Florida and hooks up in the huge network of street racing affiliates there. So there's no hiding. Like he goes right to where they think he should be. Right. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
So, like, if there was any investigating whatsoever, he would turn up.
He hasn't changed his look at all.
No.
Same white T-shirt.
No.
Same
Got a lease,
pants.
got a car, got an apartment.
Right.
Running from the feds. He's facing probably life in jail.
Right.
And he goes and he just gets a race car and he still shows up for these races at night. Now, here's the kicker to that, is that when the race ends and Paul Walker wins, spoiler alert, he screeches out sideways, collects his cash. One guy couldn't make the jump over the bridge. One guy crashes.
One guy crashed into
Black guy couldn't do it. Spanish guy crashes.
Spanish guy said he wasn't doing it.
Oh, Spanish guy doesn't do it. Black guy crashes.
Fuck this. Black guy crashes.
Asian girl does it, is thrilled with herself even though she lost and busted up her car.
Yeah.
The jump was such that it was probably like 40 feet in the air and like 100 feet long.
Yeah.
It was like you could kill yourself.
That and the way that Paul Walker overcame the black guy was he hit the Naz's back. We're happy to see that the Nas is back. Yes. At the bridge, he hits the O2 and leaps precisely over the black guy.
Yes, he outraces him in the air.
Right.
He was behind him on the jump,
and
then jumped over him, cleared him, and landed ahead of him.
Brilliant.
And he wins, right?
Brilliant.
Oh, mind you, Ludacris did not tell him he was doing that with the drawbridge either, so he risked his own friends' lives as well as 4 other people.
He had a surprise.
Yes.
He had a little surprise. The Asian woman, when she's jumping in the middle of the air with a grin on her face, says, "Smack that ass."
Smack that ass.
And
she lashes, her car gets, she lands, her car gets busted up. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
The race was no longer a drag race of a quarter mile dead away. Even though in the first one, they raced what seemed like 20 minutes, but it was really a quarter mile.
Right.
This one is a full-on, like, miles-long race that lasts like 5 minutes. They're going through the whole city, making turns, all that stuff.
Right.
So here's a few notes that I put down.
Okay.
First of all, they have to know that path.
Sure.
They were cutting left and right and racing all through the city and so it's not like
upwards of speeds of 140 miles per
160.
hour. Right. Well, that was the end.
Yes.
Right.
140. Now, there was 1 or 2 road closed signs. They were driving all over the city.
Yeah.
They don't come across another car or another human. Now, so this has to be where they always race.
Right.
It has to be the known track, which means if there's this much of a problem with 500 people amassing and illegally driving and closing roads, and he's on the run from the feds, and they would be in tune with this.
Right.
We see no cops. Okay, as luck would have it, moments after Paul Walker wins, the first cop car pulls up.
Well, what happens is, one thing we skipped over is the fact that for whatever reason, and I hope that this does come into play, Paul Walker is driving a European-style car.
Yes.
His steering wheel's on the right side.
Right.
We're only half hour into the movie. We have yet to see if that comes into play at some point. Right. So the cops show up, all of them driving.
Also introduces Eva Mendes.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know. She's just smirking and smiling. She hasn't said anything.
Right. Tits are kind of out, but not really. Not giving us what we want. Yeah, she was wearing like little halter top revealing things.
She's got to fit in.
She's got to fit in.
Right.
Plus, you look like Eva Mendes. Do the world a favor. Show off that body.
Right.
The cops show up there to the one driving nondescript Ford Tauruses.
Yes. Again, 30 cop cars.
30 cop cars.
Yes.
Dexter's dad gets out of the car and has a car taser.
The actor who played Dexter's father in the Showtime series.
Forever to be known as Dexter's father.
Yes.
Pulls out. Dexter's dad has a car taser.
Yes.
It's a harpoon. If you're watching this along with us, you know what we're talking about. But if for some reason you're listening to this without having listened, he has a harpoon that shoots into the side of the car, flicks a switch, the car gets electrocuted. Paul Walker does not.
Right.
And the car stalls, shotguns in his face.
Shotguns in his face. Now, hold on.
Okay.
Back this up a minute. The cops come right after. Right. Meaning, 1, they know of this affiliate of street racers.
Yeah.
2, it always happens in the same area. 3, they knew exactly who and where Paul Walker was at that moment.
Right.
And he does this all the time there.
Right.
So they could have busted him any time before this.
Sure.
But they wait until the end, and now they're chasing him. Cars are crashing, cops are getting hurt, injuries are happening again, and they're chasing him with 30 cop cars.
Right.
They know the syndicate, they know who the players are, they know everything. They could not follow him to his beach house 4 minutes away before this.
4 minutes away.
No, this isn't the first time Paul Walker's racing, obviously.
Right.
So they haven't found him yet. Despite all the other races, we're just to think that he's raced and outsped them every other time before this, and they know he lives in the area, but they have yet to find him.
Right.
That being said, Eva Mendes was already there. We later find out she's an undercover cop.
Yes.
She was there. She let that race happen.
Well, she's deep undercover, and when Paul Walker asked her, how long have you been undercover, she says, I don't even know anymore.
I don't even know anymore.
Right.
That's a telltale sign.
Right. That's
of a person with blurred lines.
Now, that is sometimes when you and I are on the road and people say, how long have you been touring? My answer is, I don't even fucking know anymore. Well, people are like, what city are you going to next? I'm like, I don't even know.
I don't even know what day it is.
Right.
I never do.
So that resonated with me.
Okay.
That is a woman that she's working hard.
Yeah.
She is overworked, maybe. She is, not sure of anything, and she's confused, but she's not giving up. She's dedicated.
Reminds me a little bit of a Fast and Furious Paul Walker.
Okay, go ahead, expand that.
Because it wasn't really he wasn't about that. And he was getting caught up in the first one. His worlds were colliding. Right. His vision was blurred. He loved the street racing. He loved the thrill of it. Right. But he was also a dedicated cop. But then he started getting into a really gray area where he didn't know where his allegiances lied and everything. And he was just fed up. And in the end, he took the side of the non-law enforcement.
Right.
So there's a parallel there. Okay, but I love that Eva Mendes lets the street race happen.
Sure.
So they also broke into the drawbridge. Right. So she saw them break into the drawbridge, close down roads, drag all over the city. Right. Could have killed any innocent pedestrian.
Sure.
There was no reason to wait for him. She was there to begin with before Paul Walker even got called in.
Right.
She could have broken up the who knows what, right?
Right.
So they draw on him. I just like to point out, too, that the people racing were a white man, a black man, a Hispanic man, and an Asian woman. So they really
covering a lot of bases.
They're covering a lot of bases.
I will tell you this. This series, to me, seems right up an Asian's alley.
Yes.
Right up an Asian's alley.
That sounds weird.
It's not weird. Listen, I can say these things.
Do you know what they're doing? They're lubing them up for Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. We're all headed towards Tokyo Drift. There's a lot. They seem very...
The Asian girl in this one was like the Asian tease for what was to come.
Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So right now, Adrian Bilkins is back.
Yes.
Paul Walker's, if you remember from the first Fast and the Furious movie, he was the black agent who would not listen to Paul Walker's advice on timing and pulled the trigger too early and then blamed Paul Walker when everything went wrong, even though it was clearly his own fault. For some reason, he's back.
Right.
And I'm happy to see him.
Also, before we get to him, I just like to say, these people are legitimate street racers, okay? Yeah. They're in this network. They meet. Their cars are their lives. The racing is their lives. Mm-hmm. They take their cars apart and put them together with their own hands.
They break dance next to them.
There's been a breakdance sequence already. Right. They custom make them to the T, from the knobs to the wheels to everything. They live and breathe racing.
Right.
They put thousands of dollars on the line because they believe in their own skill set.
Sure.
This is their identity.
Right.
Every time they hit the NOS button, it looks like the first time. It's like, what is this button? Whoa! Like, it's like, I never got this fast before. I just shot 30 miles an hour. I was doing 140. Now I'm doing 160. I don't know what to make of it. Like, they're shocked that they know what they're about to do. They hit the button and they can't believe the results. Right. They can't believe it. They look both ways. They can't handle it. They're like, they hold the wheel tighter, like, oh my God, it's like the first time someone was on like a roller coaster or something. Right.
It's specifically the black guy who crashed into the Pepsi sign.
Yes.
Who plays in other movies? He always plays the really hot black boyfriend in movies.
I don't.
Oh, you've seen his movies, and he's always the smooth, the good guy though. He's never an asshole. He's always like the good alternative to something like that. He looked really panicked driving that car.
Yeah,
he was the lead for the vast majority of that race.
Yes.
Yeah, he was panicking like shit.
There you go. And
so much so that I'm surprised. Let me look him up. So much so that I'm surprised his agent let him do that. Because
this is a blockbuster. You don't say no to that. You know who's gone? Dragon. Did he die?
He died. Remember, he got shot on the sidewalk outside of Dublin. Yeah. Okay.
No, the Wizard got shot. Dragon died.
Dragon went to jail. Remember?
Yeah. All right.
Dragon got helicopter. Right. Okay. Hold on one second. The good-looking black guy named Michael Ealy. This is the guy I'm talking about. The guy who couldn't control the car and crashed into the
how old is he?
He's 41 as of now.
Bless him.
Well, you're
10 years ago.
Yeah. He was in Barbershop 2, Too Fast, Too Furious, 7 Pounds, Takers, For Colored Girls, Think Like a Man, About Last Night, Think Like a Man 2. That's what I'm saying. And he was the robot in Almost Human. Got it. The Fox series. Okay, he is generally the one that he walks into the room and all the women go, damn. You know what I mean?
You did that while we were watching it.
Yeah. Well, I've seen his movies. Yeah. Okay. So I'm surprised he took that role because he was only in it for a short amount of time, and he looks like a chump in it.
Also, if I've ever gone to a casino, and I sit down and I lose $300.
Can I finish that sentence for you? Yes. You lose $300.
Yes.
You are in a spiral of shame and self-hatred for at least 48 hours.
Yes.
There's no talking you out of it.
48 guaranteed. I get pale-faced. Yeah. I start getting mad at everything. Everything irritates me. I'm questioning all the choices I make. I can't believe that I could throw money away like that when there are people in the world. It just gets me sick. I get a pit in my stomach that I lost $200.
You look like you just got a test result back that says positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these people they're walking around wads. They're throwing 3,500. I mean, there's 4 people in the race. You only it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Would you in a casino, right? If there was a roulette wheel and it was number 1, 2, 3, and 4,
right?
Would you take $3,500 and go and put it on one of the numbers?
No, but they are betting on themselves. There's a difference.
Okay, yeah,
they have control over it.
You're only winning 3 times your money, but you could lose. It's not.
It's not worth it to me. Joe Gatto would take those options.
Yeah, Joe Gatto would. Yeah.
Gatto, let's talk about Joe Gatto for a second because I don't even know where Joe Gatto begins and where Joe Gatto ends anymore because he has been this gambling routine of his. It's become an obsession.
He's got a problem.
He may have a problem.
He plants his ass at the table for 9 hours straight.
Yeah, and he doesn't care if he loses.
No,
he doesn't care if he loses.
He wins and loses. I wonder what his tally is. I wonder if he knows his tally. He doesn't know his tally.
He doesn't know his tally, but I think he wins more than he loses.
He plays for the thrill at this point, though.
But he bets so much money.
He's always he's either always I killed it, I effed him right in the A, and I won $5,000 or whatever. Yeah. Or he'll be I'll be like, how'd you do it? He'll be like, nah, no good. No good.
But that could be upwards of $8,000 and he just writes it off as no good. Joe Gatto has lines of credits in casinos in Atlantic City. He walks in remember Mr. Papa Giorgio in Vegas Vacation? Yeah. That's Gatto at this point.
Yeah, Papa Giorgio. That's a great nickname.
Yeah. He takes off his fucking coat. Somebody comes out of nowhere and takes it from him. They give Joe a lobster and lead him to the fucking craps table. And then they just put the dice in his hands and he goes. So there are people out there. We're just not them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're on the way other end of the spectrum.
We couldn't be on more opposite sides. Right. I stand there and watch them.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't get it. You know when I have fun? When your friends or your family are at the same table.
A whole table.
Or a craps table or what's called 21. Blackjack table.
Yeah.
And you're all bullshitting and talking and laughing and helping each other. I find it fun. Right. And you're not betting the farm. Right. You're betting $10, $20, $50.
Right.
But it's, if I win, if I lose, you win. If you win, I lose. Sure. But it's not like you sidle up to 5 strangers in a thick cloud of cigar smoke and your eyes are tearing and you're drinking watered down ginger ale.
Right.
And then you're at 4 a.m. It's you, a guy with a fucking fake eye, a 90-year-old 90-year-old fucking Asian dude that looks like he sold you a mogwai, a guy with like a tattoo on his fucking forehead, and like a call girl,
right?
And you're trying to win $500
right.
at like 5 a.m.
That's where Joe Gatto lives. That's where he lives.
And him and Papa Giorgio.
Right. So, all right. So anyway, so all that money's on the table. All right. So Agent Bilkins, he says, "I've got a deal for you, my friend."
Yeah.
He gives Paul Walker a file folder that says, "Here's all the laws that you broke." You know he did. We'll make all this go away.
Yeah.
And then you and I tuned out for a second, so we're not exactly sure what the mission is.
You know what it is too? Like the movies are great because the movies are like, if I had to write a Fast and Furious movie, I feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
And that is not a slight at them. It's really not even a compliment to me. It's like somewhere in the middle because I feel like, you ever watch a movie or a TV show and you're like, how the hell do they know what they're talking about? Like, you watch Homeland, or you watch ER, and they're using all these terminology. You watch The Wire, or you go see a movie, and you're like, this is like, you got to do your research.
Yeah.
This, I feel like they take a lot of liberties with backstory and research.
Sure.
So, like, they'll just be like, you want out of this? Do me this favor. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you could say yes or no.
Right.
And then he's like, fine. Like, he's been on the run from the feds. He should really be, it should be a public trial.
Right.
It should be a crazy thing.
Sure.
Who knows what? Like, rogue cop, blah, 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 blah. But he's like, you want out? And plus, you're the only man for this job, too.
Right.
Why is he the only man for this job? Fine. You want to go in that universe and say he's the hotshot cop that has a leg in both worlds. He's perfect. We don't need to train anybody. We got this guy. Let's just get him. Blah, blah, blah. So you pardon him. Yeah. Then they say, you're going to partner up with this guy.
Right.
Paul Walker shouldn't be calling shots. But
he points to a guy who's sipping a soda,
a super big gulp,
right in the middle of a meeting, and this is I checked back in a little bit before you. It was funny because you and I both started looking at our phones at the same exact time, so we don't even know what the setup for the movie is yet, even though we're well past the point that we should know.
Right, we're in Act 2,
right? But they said this is your partner, and Paul Walker goes up to him and is just like something about what engine is good for a car for this. The guy flubs the answer. Paul Walker says, "I take my chances in Chino. You're going to get me killed."
Right. And then he goes, well, I got somebody I want.
Right.
And they say, all right.
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets Tyrese.
Back to the West Coast.
Right.
Right.
And Tyrese is in a derby.
What is it called?
Those smash 'em ups.
Collision derby, demolition derby,
and he's wearing a bracelet, a jailbird bracelet.
Yeah,
homing device.
Tyrese, I'm just gonna say it, hunky black guy,
hunk.
And
you know what? He can act.
Yeah,
it wasn't cardboard. Like I believed him.
Yeah,
I believed him.
However, he shot Paul Walker a look.
And you called it. Well, you called it immediately. You're You're really in tune.
Yeah, I said he's going to punch him.
Yeah, before you said before words are exchanged, the first thing he's going to do is punch him.
Right, and it comes to pass.
Yes,
there's bad blood there.
And after a fight between the two, he convinces Tyrese to help him.
Well, he says, I'll get your record expunged as well.
Right.
If you help me do this.
And Tyrese agrees.
Yes.
But, like, I guess Paul Walker never had the ability, because it comes out in their tussle that Tyrese was lied to by Paul Walker.
Well, I think he was on something. I can't tell if they're childhood friends or something went wrong. I don't know yet.
I feel like something happened with Tyrese that kind of happened like with Dominic Toretto, where he went undercover. We don't know yet.
Well, he didn't let him go, and he did 3 years. We know Tyrese did 3 years in prison, and he blames Paul Walker.
Yes, and Paul Walker says, it's not my fault, it's not my fault.
Right.
But if he had the chance, I guess he hasn't had the chance prior to this
to
get it. But it's so funny, too. Like, all of a sudden, Paul Walker has... I mean, I guess the movie doesn't need to slow down and waste our time with the legal mumbo-jumbo, but Paul Walker now has the authority, like you said, to pardon Tyrese after his 3-year stint. He's on probation because he's wearing the bracelet. Right. He's like, you help me do this, you're good. So Tyrese answers that call. they go to the downtown to the station or to their secret location.
They're back in Florida.
To a garage.
Right.
It's here we find out Eva Mendes walks out. She's a cop.
She's a customs agent.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, she's like a federal customs agent of some sort.
Okay.
Looking good.
She comes out. Did Paul Walker recognize her?
No, he didn't.
He didn't realize she was at the street race with Ludacris?
He didn't make mention of it, no.
Was that her?
It was her?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So they say, we got this cartel guy we're chasing. And you two are the only two who are equipped to go undercover and fiddle around with this fella.
We'll do something. I thought I caught...
He's a drug guy. We want to bust the drug guy. You guys are going to go undercover to do this. It's just so very broad. Right. You know, he's running from the feds. We got to get this drug guy. We ask him if he'll do us a favor.
Right.
He says, yes, everybody's happy.
Okay.
It's very broad strokes. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not...
We don't get caught up in detail.
It's not called Too Fast, Too Detailed.
No, it is
called
not.
Too Fast, Too Furious. Right.
So they say, well, what are we going to drive?
Boom.
And then in the police station, for some reason,
boom, the
cars, the cops parked the cars at like a 90 degree, like a V formation.
Yeah.
They're in a showroom.
Yeah.
And then they were covered.
Yeah.
And the cops pop off the tarp.
The reveal.
And they reveal
it's kind of
how cool the cars are. Like, there's no need for that either. They could have been like...
Yeah. It reminded me of when I have sex with a new woman.
Okay.
And I go to reveal my penis. I like to do that same sort of showy, like
put a tarp on it.
Yeah. Well, my boxes. I'm like, here you go, baby. Like, here you go. Whoop.
Nice.
Woof. And I pull away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the car. I'm like, look at that.
Right.
Look at that ride.
And it has a paint job on it.
Yeah, it's new. I clean it up good. I gotta bring it to the shop. I get it detailed head to toe.
Nice.
Boom.
Right. So they're thrilled at the cars too. They're like, oh yeah, you know.
Tyrese calls the convertible.
Yes,
he says, "I'm getting a convertible."
Okay,
throws his bag in the back.
That's right.
Eva Mendes gets in
jumps
the car.
in the car. Paul Walker.
Right.
And have they really exchanged any pleasantries yet?
They did not, but that's where he shows concern for her. Well, like, have you been under too long? And she goes, "Keep your eye on the road." And he, I guess, in a flirtatious manner, accelerates to 100 and change.
Yeah.
And does not take his eyes off her. Her, to show that she's tough as nails, does not take her eyes off of him.
Right.
And then they just speed along a residential neighborhood.
A good 10 seconds.
Past schools.
100 miles an hour.
Past hospitals. Yes. Daycare centers.
Yes.
What have you. Locked eyes on each other. He stops on a dime at a red light.
Yeah, without looking.
Yeah.
And then Tyrese pulls up next to them, and Tyrese says, did he just do the stare and drive?
Stare and drive.
I taught him that.
Yeah. Which, does that mean that Tyrese was driving and locked eyes with Paul Walker and held it?
Well, we hope that's what it means, but it probably just means that he told him about it. Or he saw him do it, or whatever.
I would be much happier if he did the stare.
But what we're doing here is we're building the friendship, the backstory between Tyrese and Paul Walker. Because now there was a life for them that existed where they were best of buds.
Right.
And they were doing the stare and drive.
Right.
You know, palling around.
Well, now hold on a second. Something just occurred to me. Let's jump back to Fast and Furious 1. Was Paul Walker already an expert in cars at that point, or did he have to learn the world in the first movie?
He had to learn the world.
So what's going on?
He tinkered with cars, right? But he was so he had to learn the world outright. He didn't know about NOS. He never drove. Remember, he just thought he could take him on in the beginning, and his car was going to fall apart.
Right.
No, but we don't know. So you're saying Tyrese is a car junkie. They have cars in common, clearly.
Yeah.
So how is this happening in the past?
Right.
Well, we don't know. This could have. Oh no, right? Because this couldn't have happened between 1 and 2. Their relationship.
No,
it couldn't have because he's on the run.
Right. He got Tyrese arrested.
Unless we're to assume, right? He's on the run. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh, that's a nice unearth
Yeah.
little plot hole.
Well, let's see. Maybe they're gonna expand.
Or maybe not.
All right, so they pull up to the drug dealer's mansion. The drug dealer, and they display his opulence with a 42-inch flat screen television.
Yes, 2003.
Right,
But that's just when they came out.
right.
Because I had the projection. I bought my projection, and not even, buddy. They weren't even out then.
Okay.
That was like ahead of its time. Because I bought my projection television in 2001.
All right.
It was August 2001. I bought the first 720p rear projection high definition Hitachi Ultravision,
Okay, which you still have.
which is the television in my living room. Did I tell you the other day the blue lamp went on it?
That's a $500 bulb.
It is because I've had the TV since 2001, so I've had it 14 years.
Right.
And somewhere halfway through there, it fried,
Right.
and I repaired it for $500.
Right.
The TV was $2,300 when I bought it.
Did you go on eBay and look? Because that's
No, but it also I need someone to actually repair it. But I can't repair it.
you can't repair it. You just gotta get rid of it.
So now, like, there's blue tint on the whole thing. I mean, and it was out of nowhere. It didn't like start. I shut it off, and when I shut it back on, it was gone.
You gotta let that thing rest.
Yeah,
It's done its time.
I can't even give it away at this point, I don't think, because now it's going to take $500 to repair. Nobody wants a blue tinted TV.
You have to also recycle that. You gotta bring that to Best Buy. Roll that in there. You can't put that on the curb. That will rot for the rest of the universe.
Yeah. It's heavy. It's big, too.
Yeah. I'll help you. I'll help you get it to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 years.
That's good. That's fucking great for a TV, man.
Yeah, that's good.
My bedroom TV was my apartment television, and that's going on 8 years now.
Yeah, but the tube televisions used to last like 20, 25, 30 years.
The only reason to get rid of them is because the new televisions came out.
Right.
I never had a tube television die before I was done with it.
Yeah.
There you go. It tells you something.
So yeah, so he has the flat screen TV.
Okay.
And he basically says to them, "My red Ferrari was stolen." Now, Eva Mendes is also there. Turns out she's undercover in the drug cartel as well.
Right.
My red Ferrari was stolen. In the glove compartment, I had something. He tells a sea of goons, like 15 guys.
Right. All the cars.
All the cars, inclusive of Tyrese and Paul Walker. Whoever's going to go and retrieve this stuff out of the glove compartment gets to work for me.
Right. What was the sandwich? What was the sandwich line from the first one that we latched onto? Remember, he said, "What is he, a sandwich crazy?" That was it, right? What was something, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is he, sandwich crazy?
Yeah.
There was another winner that Tyrese delivered, where one of the goons is leaning against a classic car that's obviously souped up, and he's shooting dirty looks to Tyrese. He makes him to the comment. Tyrese looks at him and goes, "Real fun, Fonzie."
Yeah.
Real funny, Fonzie.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you gotta love the lines.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the... Is that part of the Too Fast or the Too Furious?
So far, I'm seeing a pattern, you know?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern.
But a line like, "Real funny, Fonzie."
Right.
Is that like he's quick? Is that fast? Because I know fast refers to the speeds of the car. But that was a very, very like fast quip as well.
I think it's multi-level.
Like that quip was also Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You know, it's permeating the dialogue. It's not just about the literal Fast and Furious.
So we shut off. We got the knock on the door while the goons and our heroes were rushing towards the red Ferrari.
We thought it was going to be
we were praying.
lower the television, which was amazing because it's Too Fast and Too Furious for the hotel.
Yeah, but there you go. It's 7:00. We got to get ready for our show. All right.
But it ended up being a turn down. And you guys heard my very fun quip, "Turn down for what?"
Yes.
So the Too Fast and Too Furious is rubbing off on me.
All right, so we're gonna pause it here.
Yeah.
We'll watch the how are we gonna do this? All right, we'll go back and watch the movie right now.
Yes.
We'll have Declan drop in whether you should come back and drop in again.
Right.
At say that hour mark, or
Right.
what, or if you don't, or if Declan is not, if you're not hearing this, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
Then just watch the rest of the movie.
Correct.
Okay. Well, we finished the movie.
I don't know what to say right now. I honestly don't know what to say. We took a blow here.
Yeah.
The franchise took a blow here.
You could see why, not having seen Tokyo Drift yet in this examination of the series, why they decided they need to change it up after this movie.
As many like fun little plot holes and indiscrepancies as there were in part 1.
Right.
The doors were blown off, but not to the tune of fun. No. To the tune of frustration.
It was... I found Tyrese to be a problematic character. I couldn't get whether...
Vin Diesel has charisma, huh?
He sure does. And let me tell you, Brian Walker...
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Brian...
I forget his character in the movie.
Oh,
something. Connell? Whatever. Paul Walker has charisma. But I couldn't figure out if Tyrese was comedic,
right,
relief, or he was supposed to be genuinely like a tough guy. Like I didn't get it because his choices made no sense.
It was a mix of both. Okay.
I mean, we sound defeated right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough, guys, and we're going to shoot you straight.
We have to shoot you straight.
There's good moments in every movie, and some movies are better than other movies. I mean, it'd be ridiculous if we're going to review 7 movies or 6 movies and not point out, celebrate, or lament the flaws.
Yeah.
The script was rough on this one, man.
I
both in dialogue and in structure and in... like
logic,
yeah. I mean, my 2 biggest issues with the movie were the dialogue and the logic.
Well, the dialogue I don't mind as much because
you come to expect a little bit.
That's what I'm here for.
But I don't mean that. I don't mean those cheesy one-liners at all, and I don't even mean like the thinly veiled character development. Like Tyrese is hungry a lot.
Right. Well, he was in jail, bro. Yes. And there was shitty food in jail, so he's probably going back to jail. He's going to eat everything he can.
One of the supposedly endearing traits of Tyrese in this was if he can get his hands on a sandwich, he's going to eat it.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does then. So anyway.
Eva Mendes, supposed to be a professional crime fighter.
Supposed to be a federal agent.
Right.
And she just has a few quips here and there. She's scared as shit. She never acts in a way. You know when like you watch a movie, you ever see like the remake of or any movie really, but this one comes to mind. Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
Or you know how like or Ethan Hawke you know how like an actor like looks like they look like a cop. They sound like a cop.
Sure.
They learn how to handle a weapon. It looks like they know how to handle a weapon.
Right. They've been through the shit.
Yeah, even
like when Hugh Jackman took over Wolverine.
Yeah.
The reason you buy he's Wolverine is because you're talking about inhabiting the role.
Yeah.
Right.
I just didn't feel that from any of them, anybody in the movie, as a matter of fact.
Even Dex's dad.
Not at all.
Maybe this is the way we should do this. Maybe we should just talk about each character one by one. Because we're at a loss on how to cover this fucking thing.
I'm at a loss. I was scribbling on this hotel pad. And it just looks like a Jackson Pollock right now. Right. It's just scribbling everywhere.
Do you want to try character by character and see how that goes?
Let's try it that way first. So Eva Mendes.
Okay, Eva Mendes.
So she was genuinely dainty and had fear and was nervous.
Right.
And she didn't conduct herself like a cop. And in situations where see, now we're not following the story, but no.
There is no story to follow.
In situations where like the shit was going to hit the fan and everybody was in the same room. Like they were going to torture this undercover detective with the rat.
Yeah.
Like instead of like the performance being layered with, we know she's a cop. She's assessing everything. Should she strike? Should she not? What's going on? Building the tension with her eyes or like, is this going to happen? And she just looked like a scared girl. Like she actually looked like just the drug dealer's girlfriend at that point.
Right.
She never held or carried herself in the way of an agent or a cop.
No, and you were blown away. You couldn't get around it. The fact that she was fucking Cole Hauser. She's undercover, and part of that is she's fucking the bad guy.
The drug dealer. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. 11 and a half months she was fucking him.
Right.
He says it at the end.
Right.
11 and a half months. she was literally like he was grabbing her by the neck, slapping her face, like holding her against the wall, threatening her.
Right.
Fine. But by the way, why does she have to go in and be the like she's going in undercover? She's gonna be a year-long girlfriend who fucks him as a federal agent undercover, not just like a lackey.
Right.
Fine. So she gets in there to be someone who flirts with him, let's say. But at what point in the America's justice system, the legal system, her morals,
right?
Whoever she reports to's morals, who was never shown, by the way. Dex's father, I guess.
No, he was FBI. She was customs.
Right. But who was her superior? It was never even shown.
Bilkins, maybe?
No, Bilkins. Was it Bilkins? Bilkins was like the cop that was in charge of Paul Walker, though.
I got to be honest. I don't know. I consider myself a fairly intelligent person. You know, maybe I'm not at the top of the heap, but
no, the movie was beyond.
I couldn't figure out
motivations for anyone. So she, look, we're going to be bashing this for a little bit here. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's not our fault.
No.
John Singleton made this movie.
When it ended, we saw John Singleton directed it, and we were astounded. John Singleton of Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a lot of very, like, I told Q at one point, it reminded me of this movie, The Room, which if you know it, you know exactly what it is. If you don't, it's just a very campy movie that got made seriously, but was so absurd it became super famous because it is so bad. And in that movie, the guy who made the movie spent $5 million or $8 million, and he never wrote a script before and he never acted before. And his name is Tommy Wiseau, and he didn't even speak English, and he wrote a movie script. And and in the movie, he has like every door knock for someone to enter. Everybody, when they leave a scene, they say goodbye, and then they walk off the screen. Like, it's just like very, very like, it's like a child wrote it. And in this movie, a lot of times people were like knocking on doors, saying hello, goodbye, shaking hands, hello and goodbye,
right.
Saying, all right, I'm going to leave now.
A lot of high-fiving.
Come follow me.
Right.
This way, a lot of high-fiving. Again, I don't mind like the dialogue being very one-dimensional as far as like the quips.
Sure.
But like the movie kept doing this thing, which we ended up appreciating, which is normally a faux pas, which is they just state exactly what's happening in the movie.
They recap the plot
in the dialogue.
Every 15 minutes or so.
In the dialogue.
Right.
So Tyrese will be like, you mean to tell me he just told us to do this, and if we don't, we may die?
Right.
But if we do, the cop may get mad?
Right.
And then he was just like, that's exactly what I mean. And then he'd be like, well, I guess there's only one thing to do, bruh. We do it our own way. Right. And then Paul Walker would be like, what does that mean? And he'd be like, easy. We drive there tonight. And then they just say everything. Instead of showing it, they say everything.
Right. Then they high five, then they walk off, and we assume Tyrese gets a sandwich.
Yes. Everything was, nah, cuz. Nah, bruh. Everything was, it was just like,
shit's getting thick, bruh.
It was just way too much slang for slang's sake.
A lot of like, now look, you and I have been friends a long time. We've had a lot of conversations.
Yes.
None of them have taken place in separate cars where we can't hear each other. Where I've been like, I got you, Sal. And for some reason, you're half a mile back being like, yo, Brian, I'm right behind you, buddy.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It just never occurs that way. But for whatever reason, in this movie, they have this almost supernatural power to communicate or support each other or anything from a distance and just speak to each other.
Yeah, well, that's...
Not even friends. Like... enemies.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm going to catch you, brah. You ain't never catching this car. And then they would speed around the fucking oil can and head back. Yeah. It was crazy.
It was, there's so much to cover. I don't even know if we should do it. We had to, so anyway, so it blows my mind. Eva Mendes is literally having sex for 1 year with the drug lord. So all of her body, her self-respect, her future, like everything, by the way, it's never written to any sign of, if you're going to go there, like a Joe Pistone, like a Donnie Brasco, and you're going to go undercover, and it's raging on you and your family and affecting your life, and it's blurring the lines of where your allegiances are and all that other stuff. You didn't write it as such, but she never showed any remorse, any regret, any ethical. She was never torn that she was sacrificing her own body for a collar.
And you know that Cole Hauser's character digs anal. You just know it.
Yeah.
So she's giving up the ass to a drug dealer for 11 and a half months.
Right. Like I mean, when you're in a relationship,
yeah.
I mean, and you're especially in the first year,
right?
you're having sex a few times a week,
right?
At least
a day.
Yeah, like there's those types of days, right?
Yeah.
So she's putting in so much effort. Like there was a day where they had sex all day. Like it was a lazy Sunday.
Right.
He's drilling her in the asshole.
Right.
All day long. She's hunched. Excuse my language, but this is what I'm led to believe from the movie. Don't come down on me.
He patted her ass a bunch of times, and that,
She's taking it and thinking, oh, one day, year, 2 years,
right?
He's gonna get handcuffed.
Right. Until then, I'm just gonna bite this pillow.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
What is going on there? Then there's this very weird, ambiguous flirty thing between her and Paul Walker to the whole movie that never comes to fruition ever, except for one split moment out of context, which makes no sense. They don't get together, they flirt, but they never confess anything to each other.
Right.
Then there's a moment where she sneaks to his houseboat to tell him she overheard that they're going to kill him after he delivers his money.
Well, she shows up soaking wet.
Yeah.
Which am I led to believe she swam up to the lifeboat?
No,
I mean to the houseboat?
He was docked.
But why was she soaking wet?
No, but her clothes weren't soaking wet.
Her hair was and her face was. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. But she says, I found this out. And she's nervous as shit. She's not even acting like a cop. She's not like, I'm going to take him out, blah, 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 or this or this. She just is trembling and nervous.
Right.
And she says, you got to call this all off. And he says, all right. And then they see a shadow, and it's the goons of Cole Hauser.
And I will say this, the goons won me over by the end.
Yeah.
The goons did win me over. Cole Hauser's goons.
Yeah.
Whose main job throughout the movie was giving tough looks and generally being badasses.
Chiding Tyrese.
Yeah, they won me over by the end. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No.
You see the shadow in the window.
Yeah, and she grabs... She says, all right. And it's not even like, they don't even pause before and say like, are you feeling what I'm feeling? Or it doesn't even look like their first kiss.
No. It's like the kiss you give your girlfriend on the way out the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she kisses him square on the lips.
Yeah.
In passing. Like, all right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
But they had never talked about their feelings before or kissed before on screen and never mentioned them after.
Do you have the internet?
I do.
Could you look up how much also an average houseboat costs? Because my phone is what we're recording on, so I can't get in there. He owns a houseboat.
Average houseboat.
Because he's living on a houseboat. He's living on a houseboat.
Yeah.
In Miami. So what are docking fees? And what does a houseboat go for?
Okay.
Because he's supposed to be on the run.
Okay. How much is like the average houseboat in Miami if I was like a cop and I wanted to go dock it and I was like undercover trying to lay low, but I also wanted to still be in the thick of things of that racing scene with Ludacris, but I was on a limited budget, but I still wanted to have a little flair.
Close to a turn-up spot.
Right. See what it returns. The first thing that... It said that half of it was ignored because we're limited to a query of 32 words.
Okay.
And then the first thing that came up was the fake Paul Walker death scene versus the... I don't know what this means.
Oh, I don't want to talk about Paul Walker.
No, me neither.
Death, that's
all right, let me try this again. Hold on. How much is a houseboat? New and used houseboat on Boat Trader.
Okay.
Houseboat costs, living costs. Here we go. If I understand your question, I think most houseboats are larger and more expensive than you need. A cruiser, sailor power would fulfill your needs better. So assuming you would consider something in a 27-foot or larger boat, what you would look for is this 2 compartments, kitchen you can actually cook in, a bathroom with a shower. You won't find many for rent. Boats in general are selling for $30,000 at this size.
Okay.
Then figure $2,000 to $5,000 a month for slip rent.
$2,000 to $5,000.
Oh, those numbers are per year. So you might be able to rent a slip for $800 a month.
Okay. All right. So if he rolled into Miami with 40 grand,
right,
he'd be okay. So we could assume that a guy who's a federal agent,
but he's not.
but he could have saved 40 grand while he was a federal agent. I buy that.
Yeah, but that's to buy the boat and live there for a few months. Like,
Yeah, but
how's
then he's
he making
doing
his
races
money?
at night.
Oh, he's doing races at
Ludacris
night.
is calling him up, and they're
Right.
doing all that shit.
Okay.
All right.
So she kisses him. We never hear of it before or after ever again.
Right.
That's her.
Wait, but the thing that is most egregious for her is she's nothing more than a damsel in distress in the entire movie.
Right.
And in the year 2003, I would have hoped that we were in a different space with female leads.
It is a badly written female lead character.
Yeah. Yuki, who is the hot Asian chick, and Sal, I don't know if you know this about me, have never had sex with an Asian.
I did know that.
Okay. It's been an oversight, perhaps, on my part, my entire life. It's not that I don't find Asians attractive. Certainly, they do.
Sure.
You know, I've seen the cartoons with the Asian women in the trees getting along. You know what I mean? I've seen it all, my friend.
Sure. I don't know what that means, but all right.
Oh, you never seen like the movies where they go, a tree will rape an Asian. It's the what are those fucking
Anime
films?
No,
There's always a tree with the fucking tentacle coming out, fucking wrapping around the woman.
Really?
Yeah, an Asian woman.
So it's like
I'm just saying I've seen it.
It's like plants having sex with women.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, I'm sure there's many examples of it. Like a tree will grow limbs. It happened in the Evil Dead movie. Although I don't think she was Asian.
But that's something else.
Yeah, but that's where they got it from, I
Hold
believe. All right.
What is like a movie, let's say where like an Asian is like a cartoon, like an anime cartoon, and then a tree is having sex with them? And how often does that happen? Is it like a normal thing for Asians in anime, trees and Asian people having sex? Or is that something that's like...
I don't think you're getting what series all about.
Let's see what it comes up.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It says that I got to limit it to 32
Yeah,
words.
I think you're not
I
getting
got to limit it to 30. Okay, under 30. Hold on. Asians fucking trees. Asian longhorn beetle.
Oh, like they mean like Asians fucking over trees. Well, what have you, Sal? I haven't had sex with an Asian.
All right.
I see Yuki and I'm like, I'd like to have sex with an Asian.
Yeah.
And she was
also a horribly written character because she was just like, she basically was an anime character.
She was.
A cartoon character. She was always dressed up. She was hopping around. All she did was have a little attitude, fiery attitude.
Yeah, but she at least stood on her own 2 feet.
Yeah.
She was racially cool. She was into fucking Ludacris, which is a plus, you know what I mean?
No, who's not? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, what I didn't get,
hold on. Did the making of just start for this thing?
I put it on. On the second Blu-ray DVD of Too Fast, Too Furious, we're watching with the volume down, is a Fast Females. That's a feature on the females in the movies.
Well, after it ended, we were like, look. There's John Cena. Look, we get what these movies are about. We celebrate them. We're going to watch all 6 or 7.
Right.
The first one we liked. There could be some duds. But when it ended, we were like, any normal person that is watching this is going to get confused. It's going to be like, oh God, that was that was corny. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Well, couldn't he have just not hired him? Like the plot holes are too huge. Anyone could have done it. So we assume that all these actors who are really good actors,
yes,
like Eva Mendes, Cole Hauser, like they're at the premiere watching this. John Singleton, the director,
right.
Especially a director, like they're watching this. They had to see everything that we saw.
I guess they're just counting that paycheck, buddy.
Right, but they're sitting amongst each other at the premiere, and they're not all thinking,
ooh. They gotta. Think of the plot of the movie. Let's get to the basic plot of the movie is drug lord needs his money transferred from the wall of a trailer in a Florida trailer park to the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
Why on earth he can't just have someone pick up that fucking money?
Anyone and everyone. By the way, he had no lackeys. His 2 right-hand men who followed them all around, They could have just went and got it.
They could have just got it, put the money in the car, and drove off.
The 2 guys who were his right-hand trusted men.
Right.
Okay? Then when they arrive at the trailer park, there was another guy he knew there that let them in. They could have just delivered it to him from there. The conceit was that he got 15 unknowns and had them race a car to get his cigar.
Right.
And to see who was the best at it. And that's who he hired. So you mean to tell me he didn't have an infrastructure in place as a drug cartel, a drug lord, where he already had a chain of command and had people that he could go get this from? He had to literally make these guys race there and be like, all right, you two, you did it the best. You're hired.
And Cole Hauser lives in a fucking mansion.
Yeah.
A $20 million house.
Yeah.
And he's willing to leave that house behind to make a run for it.
6 duffels of money.
With 6 duffels of money.
Yeah. Well, there was no need. No. He only ran for it at the end, I think. No, there was a plan. He was already going to meet there. He didn't know he was getting double-crossed by anyone. He didn't know about Eva Mendes. He didn't know about Paul Walker. And he didn't know about the cop that the rat was going to eat his guts out. He didn't know any of them were cops. But he already made the plan to meet him at the boat so they could leave with the money. See? He didn't know he was getting double crossed by police officers until it happened.
Yeah, but why is he even running to begin with?
That's my point. The plan was for Paul Walker to meet him and Tyrese to meet him with the bags of money at the boat.
Yeah.
And he was ready to leave with that money.
But why?
For no reason. It was never explained.
No reason.
Never explained. And so he was already doing that before he found out there was any cops involved. Which, by the way, there is no more than 500 cop cars in this movie that crash.
Let's get to this. You couldn't believe it. I was watching your face.
In the last sequence, every minute, 40 cop cars pile up and crash. That means injuries and casualties to all sorts of law enforcement.
Sure.
And Paul Walker looks back and is like, woohoo! Which my big issue was, I told you, in the first movie, he's an amazing cop.
Right.
That's having a crisis of conscience.
Right.
Because he has seen the human side of someone that has been down and out or that is, there's a gray area with him and he sides with Vin Diesel. In this one, there's destruction, mayhem, death, and he's just like, woohoo!
He doesn't care.
No. And at the end, he skims blood money.
They're like, well, no, even worse. Cole Hauser is looking at them and they go, when he gets out of jail, he's going to try and kill us.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, okay.
Love Miami.
Let's stay here and open a fucking auto shop.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, how are we going to open an auto shop? And they're like, what's his name? Paul Walker's like, I stole money. And
he's like, my pockets aren't empty, cuz.
Yeah. And then Tyrese is like, mine neither. And he lives. So they stole, let's say, about 50 to 100 grand.
Right. But that's drug money. It's blood money. Like, children have died at the hands of that money. And he's going to use it as the foundation to open his legit business.
Right.
And his slate is wiped clean.
Right.
He gets his slate. Wait. These are the two directly connected with this entire bust. Every federal agent knows about them. Every local law enforcement agent knows about them. And everyone in the drug cartel knows about them.
Right.
They get their slate wiped clean. Everything that was hanging over their head, keeping them from sleeping at night, burdening them, his questionable morals, going against the force, Tyrese, everything that he did, which he admitted he was immature and now he changed his ways.
Right.
Everything. They get the ultimate penance. They get their slates wiped clean.
Completely clean.
The other guy's going to jail. The cops don't want them anymore. They decide to skim blood money off the top of that bust, which is under literally federal investigation.
Which is evidence, by the way. And now the chain of evidence is broken if it's ever proven that they took that money and Cole Hauser can walk free.
That's exactly right.
Right.
And the money is, they check the serial numbers, they're all together. So they skim that money.
Right.
And they're going to use, not only morally it's wrong because it's criminal money, but they're going to stay planted and come up with 100 grand to open a body shop, and they're never going to be connected to skimming that money.
Right. And let me ask you something, Sal. If I gave you $5 million.
Yes.
And I said, jump this car onto this boat.
Right.
$5 million.
Yes.
In a neck of the woods that you've never been to before. So you don't know what you're driving towards or what's happening.
So one thing we're assuming here, though, is that everybody has watched the rest of the movie. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie, we're jumping, right? We're not explaining it linearly. We're just calling out scenes now. So you are not going to be able to follow along unless you watch the movie and know what we're talking about. But just as a precursor, tell them what you're talking about right now.
Okay, so at the end, Eva Mendes. Oh, that's how they made the son. Eva Mendes is being held captive on a boat that's driving away. And the way that Paul Walker decides to rescue her is by driving full speed, hitting a ramp that's positioned towards the water for some reason. That he didn't know was there.
He decided a quarter mile out he was going to do it.
That's right. Well, that's how he lives his life. You know that.
Yeah.
He hits the ramp at high speed, a ramp directed towards the water for no reason, and lands his car onto the drug dealer's boat. Tyrese breaks his arm.
I'd say 1 in a billion chance he's going to time that. It's
impossible.
And we get it. It's an action movie. I've seen a billion.
I'm willing to forgive it.
Yeah.
But look, if John McClane can tie a fire hose around himself, jump off a building, slide into a window, I believe me, I'm all for suspension.
Although I gave up on him in Too Fast, Too Hard,
the last one was
Too Die Hard with the. Not the last one. The one before that, where he's surfing on a jet plane that was underneath the expressway,
and that was a black spot. And what I thought was an otherwise enjoyable movie.
All right.
I like that. I Live Free or Die Hard. You're talking about?
Yeah,
I liked Live Free or Die Hard. That was the one part I didn't like, where he fought a jet plane with a Mack truck.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, that's getting a little out of control.
For me, it's like what happened with Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, amazing.
Right.
2 was a bit of a regurgitation of 1, but you loved it so much you were still clamoring for it. Right. They didn't go. 3, he was an action hero.
It was crazy.
He's dangling from the Ferris wheel. He's doing it. He was too slick. He had flaws in the first couple. In the third one, he was just like really slick. Too cool for school guy.
Too much.
Yeah.
And even he recognizes that now.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah, he did. He said they fucked up the third movie.
Okay.
And okay, so he jumps a car into a boat, and Tyrese breaks his arm. Cole Hauser comes up with a gun, points it in his face. Eva Mendes finally grabs a shotgun, puts it in Cole Hauser's face.
Yeah. It was super. Once they jumped onto the boat, they were like, ow, ow, and they were both injured. And Cole Hauser walks up. You think he would just start blowing them away? He has a semi-automatic rifle weapon or whatever.
Yeah, what's left to say at that point?
Right. And he goes slowly up to the car with a gun pointed at it, and then Paul Walker just shoots him first. 1 bullet in the shoulder. He sits down, and then Eva Mendes picks up the gun and says, all right, it's over. And that was it. And there was no other goons on the boat to fight.
Right.
It was a 1 shot to his shoulder, and that movie ended.
Yeah.
So,
it was almost like John Singleton just gave up. He was like, you know what, let's just wrap this up.
What I'm saying about watching this making, it's unbelievable because what they have to do in these makings is sit there and talk about, well, we want to do this and this is the idea for this, and they have to really like talk seriously about the movie, which I think this is worth watching after just to see them be like, well, look, my character.
Oh God, well that's how we're watching. We're playing on the TV in this hotel room. By the way, now we're in where are we? Detroit. We're in Detroit. We have the making of the stunts of the movie, and these are, from what I could see, I'm not listening, technically impressive.
Yes,
there's a lot going on here that I like, and if I was a stuntman in this movie, I would be able to talk with pride. Because no matter how much the other movie sucks, I'm still the guy that drove the car into a fucking boat.
Right.
You know?
Look at that. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
So Tyrese had this bad attitude the whole movie, right?
Tyrese is a very problematic character.
Yeah.
And he's... I just don't know what to make of him. I never know. He seemed to sabotage himself at every turn.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why he's a criminal living in a trailer park.
He can never hold himself back from like giving someone the eye or threatening someone or giving someone some lip. Right. Even though he was in a position that would behoove him to shut his mouth and clean his slate, because when we found Tyrese, he was in a demolition derby with a homing bracelet on, and he was basically a prisoner.
Right.
He was on probation.
Right.
He's given a chance to wipe everything clean, but he can't shake off. You could take the whatever out of the boy, but you can't take the whoever out of the whatever, right? So
he's stealing cigar cutters. He's giving lip to everybody.
That's how he does it.
Flat out stating, I have a problem with authority. Like he said the line, I have a problem with authority.
If you don't show it, it's said. That's what happened to the whole movie. Nothing is displayed.
Yeah.
It's said. You know what I mean? So, like, show me through action that he has a problem with authority. Don't make the character whose description when you audition for it is he has a real problem with authority. Right. Don't make him somewhere in the script go, hey, because you know why I did that? Because I got a real problem with authority. Right? But then, for no reason, nothing in the script, nothing in the story led us to a transformation to Tyrese. No moment, no exchange, no nothing. But right before they head out for the heist.
Right.
They go they're on a bridge at sunset, and that's supposed to be their reconciliation. And Tyrese says to him, you know what? I realize now that I can't be doing that kind of thing, acting like that no more. Like, it was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
For the scene right before he was acting that way. Like, nothing led him to change. So then he reconciles. So now we're supposed to care more about
Do you see what's happening right now?
No.
Do you see what's happening?
No.
I just discovered a short film that connects 1 and 2.
Paul Walker returns in this electrifying short film that continues the action of the Fast and the Furious and takes you to the sizzling...
Okay. All right.
Do we know this is on there?
I did not know this is on there. Okay. We will be right back.
We gotta shut down.
We gotta shut down and watch this because there's hope for us now. All right.
It's so funny that like it's just more of it. Well, we're like, we have to stop. We have to watch it. So I guess this is like the Fast and the Furious franchise probably is like, I will relate it to McDonald's.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is like, it's an institution. It's beloved.
Right.
But yet it's accused of like McDonald's, like they say McDonald's puts some type of chemicals in that get you addicted.
We just lit up. We just lit up.
We when we started, we didn't even have any energy. We were like, this is deflating. It's like when you're done eating McDonald's and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck was I thinking?
It's like when you eat a Big Mac, a whole fucking meal, you're like, I am a disgusting human being. Then you notice the fries at the bottom of the bag. And you're like, well, I'm going to eat those fries.
It's the McDonald's of action.
All right. So now we're going to watch wow, a short film. All right.
I got to be honest, I want to watch all the extras. And John Singleton gives commentary. So you can have him. That's a treat because you're going to see him explain, like, dying, like, what? Where'd they go?
I hope you just hear John Singleton counting money. Just counting his paycheck.
Like the third time, he's like, how'd they get out of there? Damn it! He's like, 251,000, 252,000.
All right, we're gonna watch the short film that links Fast and the Furious with Too Fast, Too Furious. Maybe this will answer the houseboat situation.
There's also outtakes. We also have to get back a little bit to Ludacris, and there's also
there's a huge Ludacris thing we got to talk about,
and there's a couple of other funny things too.
All right, let's get back in this because this has brought us back to life. All right, we'll be right back. All right, okay, all right. We made a bad error. We made a tactical error there, my friend. We should have watched that. We should have taken the excitement that we had about seeing it and finished the podcast. Instead, I dare say we're even lower than when we started right now. The short film was a montage set to, you may not know this, when you make a TV show, you have to pay people to make the music, but you could pay this service that has something called royalty-free music. And anybody can use it. Nobody owns it. You have the rights to use it in any which way you want. And it's usually shitty music. The only time I've ever seen that really used effectively is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Always Sunny in Philadelphia is notorious for basically using royalty-free music. Their whole theme song...
No, that's someone's.
No, you can use that. That's usable music. That's you buy it from that service.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've seen that song named.
Yeah, but it's part of that service.
Oh, okay.
That you can use it.
Oh, all right.
So I've been told.
Okay.
So this short film, the prelude that's supposed to connect movies 1 and 2 is clearly royalty-free music. And it's just
they call it a short film.
It's just a montage.
It is not a word in it. There's no words. It's a montage. And it's not one word. And what it clearly was the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And they said we don't need to show any of this.
It's him. He hangs up his badge. He drives across country, winning races. We found out how he made money. That's really the only thing.
It was very like lowest common denominator stuff. He lets Paul Walker, he lets Vin Diesel go in the beginning of it, and it's like it echoes his last words. So
I owe you
like,
a 10-second car. I owe you a 10-second car.
And then you see him at his house, like packing his bag, and then the police raid his house, and he leaves his badge hanging from the mirror, and you see him race across the country, and he goes from one race to the next from different states winning money, and then he's like eating at a diner, and the cops are chasing him, and so he leaves the diner, but a girl notices he left when the cops came in, and then she bumps into him later when the cops are raiding the hotel because they're hot on his trail, and then she sees who he is and gives him a ride to a used car lot for no words, by the way, for no reason, and then he buys a used car with cash, he soups it up, and then they show him racing with the motorcycles in the desert. But then he lets the motorcycles go ahead, and they get pulled over for speeding, and he goes by them chuckling. Right. I guess that's. I don't know why they kept that in. It was a bad move.
Then we watch the outtakes, and at the risk of running into him one day and just having him punch my block clean off, Tyrese seems unbearable to work with. Not because he's a dick. He seems overly excited about everything.
Maybe that's someone that you need on set that's very enthusiastic and that brings a good energy and a good spirit.
But you hear John Singleton.
Don't punch me, Tyrese.
You hear John Singleton being like, all right, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrese is taking the joking and the shenanigans too far. They have a green screen where Paul Walker and Tyrese are supposed to be jumping through the air, and they hit the ground, and Paul Walker hits his head against the steering wheel, and Tyrese keeps fucking up the take on purpose so that Paul Walker has to keep banging his head into the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I have no time. I have no time for it.
Time for it.
If James Murray was doing that while we were trying to get something done, I'd biff him. I'd be like, can you just fucking get your shit together? I want to go home tonight.
I did coin a phrase.
Go ahead.
For the females in the movie that have their own cars that participate.
Okay. What do you got?
The racinettes.
The racinettes.
Yes.
So Yuki's a racinette.
Right.
Okay.
I thought it was cute.
I gotta be honest. We're just gonna limp to the finish line. I can't see us. I can't see us saving this.
It was rough. Here's one thing we need though to help this along.
Yeah.
Our friend here who did it exists. It's out there. I don't know. We tweeted it. You can go look for it. When we did the first commentary, he took some of our best observations and he laid it over as a commentary, and he edited the Fast and the Furious 1 to the best. So our observations were basically a commentary that matched up visually. It's on YouTube. We definitely tweeted it and shared it. I forget his exact name, but
it was awesome.
It was the highlight. Because for us, we were wondering if, let's say you don't have access to the movies or don't care about them, then you're probably not listening to this. If you're listening to this all the way through, hopefully you're enjoying it, not listening to it and not liking it. But my concern was there be a disconnect,
right?
You know, so
could you look it up? Could you look him up? I mean, when we're talking about him, I feel we should give him the props.
Well, it might take long though, so
okay,
edit this out.
All right. Well, I'll keep going. Maybe you can find it real quick.
Yeah.
I do. You know what? I got a perfect thing to vamp while you do that. We all understand that the Fast and the Furious movies take on a different meaning around Part 4. That's when the original cast comes back in. That's when they become this traveling band of criminals who do these fantastic heists. That's when The Rock starts coming in. That's when Jason Statham's in the next one.
Oh, The Rock is in ones before Fast 7?
The Rock's in 6 and 7.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So look, that's what we're building towards. Don't give up on Fast and the Furious just because 2 let us down as much as it did. And we all know going into Tokyo Drift that Tokyo Drift is going to, I think that's the main problem. I know Tokyo Drift is going to be a tough sit. So I'm excited to sit through that with you, Sal. I was not prepared for Too Fast, Too Furious being the movie that it was.
Right.
I feel like Julia Roberts in Sleeping with the Enemy. I met a handsome man. He's foreign. He's got a sexy accent. He's rich. He dresses well. We go on some dates. We fall in love. We get married. That was Fast and the Furious 1. Now, Fast and Furious 2 is the part of the movie where he starts hitting me, where I maybe overcook the casserole too much, and he throws it against the wall and slaps me across the face,
Right.
where he forbids me from talking to my mother, where he doesn't like that my dress is too short. You know, Fast and Furious 2 is where I start making plans to fucking fake my death, swim to shore, and start a new life somewhere else.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it. So hopefully going into Tokyo Drift is a palate cleanser. I know it's bad, but I know there's a lot of hot Japanese chicks in Catholic schoolgirl skirts.
Correct.
I know that there's fantastic driving in it. There's a subplot between a military brat and his father connecting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen it. So I'm excited about Tokyo Drift. But we all know that 4 is where shit starts going down. Dom's back. The crew is back. Everybody's ready to go. So stick with us. And let's all stick with the Fast and Furious series together.
Agreed.
Okay. Now, what did you do? You didn't go to YouTube and just type in
I figured I would look it up on I did the wrong thing.
All right.
All right, hold on. Let me say this.
Okay. So
what say you, Fast and Furious YouTube?
All right. Come right up. All right. Nothing. All right. We will give him his props in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. I mean, really, he did elevate everything we did in the first podcast.
It was awesome. So we're hoping he does that again with this one. Help us out, bro.
Have a sandwich and help us out. All right. Now, Sal, do you still want to talk about Ludacris, or do you want to put a shotgun to this thing's head and pull the trigger and end this shit? How do you feel?
I mean, there was wave running races that we skipped.
Okay.
A lot of pounding around, a lot of high fives.
All right, let's do Ludacris.
There was casualties. By the way, the race to get the cigar out of the Ferrari included multiple casualties, and of possibly even civilians.
Right.
And Paul Walker, is just regular cars are swerving off the road, and he's racing to this thing, and he lost all sense of morals.
I feel like we're just beating a dead horse, dude.
All right.
I will say this: the one plot point I want to discuss was. I don't even have the energy to discuss it, dude.
I feel like
the warehouse full of cars.
Oh my god!
Do you want to tackle this? Because I'm finding it hard to even speak about Fast and the Furious anymore.
Let me see if I can muster up enough. Let me see what I can. All right. Okay. So, toward the end of the movie, Paul Walker and Tyrese get to the money. They break the wall. They take this cash. They do the heist there. And the feds swarm. And there was a cop in there somewhere that, like, for no reason, they met at a nightclub. And then he was on the payroll of Cole Hauser. And Cole Hauser says, I need 15 minutes of no cops when my guys go to a private trailer park to pick up money that no one else knows about. I need you to keep it clean for 15 minutes so they can get in and out. Nobody understands why. This cop wasn't even needed because the feds swarmed anyway. The only reason the cop was there, I think, was so that he could warn local authorities when he decided I can't do it. He had a crisis of conscience, and he doesn't keep doing. I can't even get.
It's too much.
Wait,
it's too much.
So then he tells all the cops and hundreds of cop cars.
I forgot we were recording a podcast and started nodding asleep. I can't take it.
All right, just know this. At one point, Tyrese and Paul Walker are getting chased by 1,000 federal agents and cops. And every time there's a 40-car pileup, they cheer. And then they drive to a warehouse because they've set up the fact that they might be being tailed. They pull into a garage. It's a big warehouse garage, and they close the gates. Choppers and police vehicles surround the garage. Hundreds. And what happened here is they called Ludacris earlier and told Ludacris, look, we have to go get drug money and we might get killed and there might be cops chasing us and we need a favor. We need you to call up 500 people with cars, with hot cars.
That's not an exaggeration.
500. Have them park in this garage. And what happens is they close, after the garage is surrounded, the gates open up and 4 or 5 big pickup trucks, all the exact same pickup truck, different colors, assumedly owned by different owners, race out of the garages and slam against the police barricades. Literally, they crash into the cop cars, 5 pickup trucks.
And push them out of the way.
And push cops who are standing guard with guns drawn.
Right.
They flee and push them out of the way. And then out from the garage comes, we are not joking, at least 300 cars, 200 cars.
Hundreds of cars.
Of all people's cars that it's
Who
called
were free on, I guess, on a Sunday afternoon, had nothing better to do than to commit felony.
They call it a scramble. And what it is now the cops can't keep track of which car is which and where Paul Walker and Tyrese are.
Right.
And it's supposed to cause like confusion, mayhem, and everything, and disorientation, and it succeeds. But the literal thing that happened is that Ludacris then called up 300 people. He said to them, "I have a friend who is involved in a huge federal case," or not. Maybe he didn't even tell all of you. Maybe he said, "I need a favor from you.
Right.
I need you to come here at noon, all 300 of you. I'm going to back you up into this garage. I need you to sit in your car until
Just in case.
the cops get just in case. Right. Because there's a chance I might need you."
Now, one of them takes their license plate off the car.
No.
Every single one of them license plates still in the car.
Correct. And then the 4 people who own pickup trucks, they, just as a favor to Ludacris, not even knowing what the whole story is,
Right.
are going to drive out, crash their own cars,
Right.
ruin their own cars, crash them right. I mean, that was the intent.
Yes.
To slam into the police cars, come out, wreck and ruin their own cars,
Right.
and get into an accident
Right.
with a cop, possibly killing a police officer,
Sure.
or getting shot and killed,
Right.
definitely
Yeah.
ruining your car and committing a felony.
That's right.
Which is not even just ruining police property, but attempted murder.
That's right.
On police.
Right.
So the 5 people who drove their car out are risking their lives, 100% going to jail. Because they can't drive it, that they smashed the cars. They're getting out and running away on foot for a lark. I don't even get what's going on.
Ludacris asked him to.
And that's it. They successfully ward off the entire police department. Maybe people are injured, maybe they're not, who knows? And those people just did it because Ludacris asked. They committed, like, basically they can go to jail for life.
Sure.
Attempted murder on police officers.
Right.
And they don't even know why they're doing it.
Right.
And they all do it at the same exact time.
Right.
And they ruin their own property.
And later on, Ludacris is like, "You owe me one." And Suki's like, "Me too." And he's like, "You owe me and Suki one."
Yeah.
Well, so there you go. That was Too Fast, Too Furious.
What did Rotten Tomatoes give it?
36.
That's unbelievable
That is
to
pretty
me.
unbelievable.
Too Fast, Too Furious, Rotten Tomatoes.
What do you got?
It's just unbelievable to me
I
that
can't believe John,
36% means 4 out of 10 critics said it was good.
I mean, John Singleton directed this.
Synopsis: Vin Diesel opted not to appear in the sequel to the film that shot him to stardom in the first place. With the character Don Toretto out of the
I wonder if
picture.
he read the script and was like, I can't do this. You got to recast me. You got to put Tyrese in. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Listen, we're sorry.
Listen, we'll be back next week with a regular episode, and then we'll be back with Tokyo Drift.
Look, we're hoping not being too hard on the movie, but we have to shoot straight.
We have to.
We had to shoot straight. There was a funny line, remember?
Yeah, there was.
When he's like, "You think he's going to get out?"
Right. He's like,
All right, look, guys. I mean, there's going to be ups and downs. The
Right.
Fast and the Furious franchise is very much like life that way.
and this should already have been announced already because of how we're releasing these. But March 31st is our official Fast and the Furious 7 screening. that Universal is setting up for you. The email address has been released already. Go to our website, whatsayyoupodcast.com, or follow at whatsayyoupod on Twitter for the email address. And that email, all you have to do is email us, and you're in the running for one of the tickets.
Correct.
Universal will be picking seats at random, 2 seats per person. So if you win, you're going to get 2 seats. And that you could enter all through March. At the end of March, they're going to select the people or something like that. You should already have this information already.
And look, I mean, this movie's 12 years old.
Yes.
You know, we're just shooting you straight. I'm going to watch everyone. I'm still excited to see the next one.
I can't wait.
But this was a little bit of a tough go.
All right.
But there were moments in to be celebrated.
Yes.
We're gonna forge ahead.
We're gonna get Tokyo Drift in your hands very shortly, and then it's off to the fucking races, man.
Yeah, because that cast's coming back.
Yeah. Can't wait. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to What Say You. We will talk to you next week.
Bye.
I heard that Rome wasn't built in a day. Then how come everyone is rushing to get ahead? And if I seem to be reserved, that's just my way. Your questions seem like you're interrogating me. Yeah, I try. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. I heard the lemon metaphor 4 million times, and I don't stand for lemonade, don't ask me why. And would a beverage stand be a job that be desired? And where would I get the wood, and should I try? Should I try? Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a 65. Yeah, I try, yeah, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort. I might as well just the currency don't grow like leaves on trees. Then how come my money comes and goes so seasonally? And I wish farmers planted plants instead of thieves. My friend pays a ton of green for greener groceries. Yeah, she tries. Then again, she don't try. She gets an F for effort. She'll plant a tree next time. Yeah, she tries. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. Yeah, I try. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a 65.